Well, Saquon, we talked about the battle of the backs. You come out here over 100-plus yards against this #1 rush defense. How did you get it done, and how much was there a little extra motivation coming into today?
I got to give credit to those guys over there. They're a really good defense. They made it tough on us, but shout out to Kellen. They stuck with the run. The offensive line kept harping to them, and they kept leaning on them, and we got things popping. But it was a fun game. It was a tough game. We knew it was going to be it wasn't going to be an easy task, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is going to win, and we got that.
I'm sure you heard those MVP chants, but 8 straight win for this Eagles team. What is working so well right now?
Just trusting each other. No matter what, whatever the score is, whatever the situation is, we believe in each other. We believe we're going to win the game. So we've got to continue to do that, get back to film, get back to the facility, watch film, and improve and get better.
Enjoy the win. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let me talk my shit again.
This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. I hope everybody's enjoying this Victory Monday as much as I am, because I know a lot of people did not pick us going into this game, and here they are trying to hop on the bandwagon way after the fact. And I'm here to tell y'all, welcome aboard, but get to the hell of the back of the bus. Y'all have no right to try to hop on this bandwagon now. And as one of the drivers of many buses when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm gonna tell y'all where y'all can sit, and really, before we even get to the next stop, y'all gonna be standing. And really, before we get into this content, please like, share, subscribe, as well as comment. It goes a long way. Thank you in advance if you have already done so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With that being said, let's go ahead and break down exactly how we absolutely dominated the Ravens in their house. I didn't expect a dominant performance by the defense, but I absolutely expected to win, and that's exactly what we did. So let's go and look at the content and really break down yesterday because that's what we do. Have you ever noticed when it comes to certain bullies, they love to look at a fake bully and show them what a real bully looks like? I think that's exactly who Jalen Carter is, and that's what he embodies, because the way that he moves grown men out of the way as if they're children, there's no other way I could put it. Jalen Carter being, to me, the best defensive tackle in football right now is showing improvement every week and really going against a tough matchup in the Ravens. That's exactly what we needed from him without having one of our guys like Brandon Graham in the lineup, because it was going to be a tall order. Going against Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson was not going to be a small task by any means. But Jalen Carter is more than willing and ready to step up to the plate, because that's exactly what that man did. You're talking about a guy that had 8 pressures, 7 hurries, 3 tackle for losses, and a sack. You know how hard it is to sack Lamar Jackson? That's exactly why I showed those clips of Jaden Daniels going against the Commanders, because that's a guy that's very shifty, very hard to bring down. And what did Jalen Carter do? Exactly that. I think there's not enough we can say about Jalen Carter, but I think it would be malpractice for me not to mention the entire defense, or really the guys that stepped up the most to me, because this was absolutely a masterclass by the defense. That should be no surprise for the #1 defense in the league, right? Let's go and look at another guy for us, Milton Williams, a guy that's low-key forgotten when it comes to this defensive line and this defensive group, purely because he's a third defensive tackle on this team. But when it came to all the defensive tackles that played yesterday, this is a guy that led in pressure rates with 18% of his pressures being successful. Milton Williams absolutely creating great pressure right here, allowing a guy like Josh Sweat to get home and get a sack. Again, against Lamar Jackson, is not easy by any stretch. But this defense was absolutely dialed in. Even Jordan Davis having only 24 snaps and resulting in those snaps resulting in only 3 yards per carry against the great Derrick Henry is. These guys are all locked. They was all locked in yesterday, and that's exactly what we needed, because a guy like Nolan Smith in his second year, already considered a bust by a lot of people who don't know what the hell they talking about, stepping up when we absolutely need him to step up. And that's what these Georgia Bulldogs, along with guys like Milton Williams, have been doing for the majority of this season. Obviously, as a fan, it is great. It's vindicating to see it. But when you know and you see these things possible, very likely to happen, and it actually pans out on the field, all you can do is just sit back and be like, well, damn, we've arrived. We're here. We're finally here to where guys like Nolan Smith are getting the opportunity, and they're making plays. 8 tackles, 3 pressures, and a sack. Come on. Obviously, the D-line has been locked in like we haven't seen in quite some time throughout the season. but we know this name. If you don't know this name, you have not been watching football. Zach Bond is absolutely a household name now, and I don't think it gets any better than a guy who's able to tackle a guy like Derrick Henry behind the line of scrimmage one-on-one, giving him zero chance, 13 tackles, 2 pressures, a QB hit, a tackle for loss, and even sharing a sack. But who did he share that sack with? Another rookie. I mean, obviously Vic Fangio has elevated this defense, unlocked a lot of guys' potential, but Harry Roseman being the guy that shopped for all these groceries and Vic Fangio being the ultimate cook when it comes to this defense is absolutely cooking. I mean, number one, even up to this point after going against the number one offense in the entire football league. I said it in that last video, it was going to be an immovable object versus an unstoppable force, and it appears that the unstoppable force is the Philadelphia Eagles defense, especially that D-line. But when it comes to unstoppable forces, I did not expect this one at all. But man, I would be lying to you if I didn't say I was hyped watching this clip. Cooper DeJean, a rookie, picking up and putting Derrick Henry on his head top. One-on-one. That is what we got on this defense. And you would have thought you was playing Madden and everybody was just letting you draft all the best players. No, this is real life. This is what Howie Roseman put together, and these guys are showing up on a weekly basis. Obviously, they were able to pass, especially when it came to Reed Blankenship. Hope he gets back soon. In the game, they was definitely giving us a lot of fits early on in this game, going up 9-0. But once the offense joined the party and put some points on the board, that's all she wrote. Going up into the half, 14-12, and the defense, aside from that last drive where we absolutely just gave it away and allowed Lamar Jackson to pick up those yards very easily, pitched the absolute shutout. I mean, I expected a convincing win, 28-21 at the bank, but absolutely shutting them out in the second half, 24-14. The defense was absolutely locked in. Couldn't be more proud of those guys. They're definitely making people believe in the number one elite status in which they've earned, and they showed it yesterday. If people aren't believing, they're not watching. It's clear as day. But the offense absolutely did what it needed to do to hold down and really secure the victory, because obviously we know what the Ravens are. A great run defense team, and even the pass defense not being great. Without Devontae Smith, clearly we didn't have all our weapons, and we were not trying to pass as much purely because Kellen Moore understood. He understood the assignment, much like Saquon mentioned in that opening clip. We're gonna lean on the run. We're gonna lean on what works. Having an RPO option and really the no huddle being what's revolutionizing this offense. Finding Dallas Goedert for a touchdown, making this look very easy on this drive was very dope to see, because it was tough sledding early on in this game. Not gonna lie, it was tough to watch. But once we started clicking, especially in that second quarter, it was up after that. I mean, again, mentioning the fact that Jalen Hurts not putting up all the gaudy numbers that you would want out of your quarterback, but yet and still not turning the ball over, having a passer rating above 90, still throwing a touchdown, and even we need to continue to use the RPO because there's no way they can stop that along with the no huddle. But running plays under center and running play action, look how free and easy A.J. Brown is coming up open. I really feel like we need to continue to make the game plan easier on offense. But in the end, when you got guys like Jalen Hurts as well as Saquon Barkley, they're going to do what needs to be done to secure the victory. I think people have forgotten the plot. The plot has been lost. They want to look at numbers, they want to look at stats, and they're forgetting the main number and the main stat. Wins. What happened to winning and that being the only thing that mattered? Obviously, people will love Joe Burrow, and they want to say that Joe Burrow deserves better. No, the hell he don't. If he did, he would win. He would figure out a way. Because when it comes to a guy like Jalen Hurts, who they say they can't pass the ball, what did he do against the number one rushing defense? Along with Saquon Barkley, they did what they needed to do to secure the victory in a place they've never done it before, against the number one offense. Obviously, the defense had to show up and do their part, but they had to put points on the board because the defense did not put up any points on this board. And obviously, we've been saying it. There's no need to really repeat it, but it's going to be stated because it's obvious. There's no one better than Saquon Barkley right now. Absolutely, this is the MVP. If I had a vote, which I don't clearly, and if he's not the MVP, let's just change the award and make it the MVQB. Because at this point, why are we propping up quarterbacks when they don't have nearly the impact that this guy has on the field on a weekly basis? Going against the number one rush defense in all of football, them continue to lean on the run. What did he do? He went over 100 yards. They have not allowed over 88 yards to one rusher all season. But again, Saquon is not your everyday rusher. This is a guy who is an alien. Really and truly, I wouldn't be surprised if he got drug tested today and even before next game, because how do you do this on a weekly basis and just make it look easy? Obviously, it was tough sledding in the beginning. That third quarter was absolutely trash. You're talking about for an entire quarter, 6 plays, 3 yards, 2 punts. That's what we did in the third quarter, but obviously given the fact that we have a quarterback that has a passer rating over 150 in the fourth quarter, that's better than anybody by a long shot in Jalen Hurts. You got the ultimate closer in Saquon Barkley. What the hell are you supposed to do with that? What the hell are you supposed to do with that? And that's what I've been trying to tell y'all folks. What are y'all supposed to do with the Philadelphia Eagles when we're locked in, when our players are doing what they do best, and you guys are just not on our level? I've said it before. I mean, Jalen Carter, being a man amongst boys, playing defensive tackle, probably better than anybody in all of football, going against an offensive line that is penalized the most when it comes to offensive holding and not getting one call. But as you can see in this clip and as you can see in all these screenshots, that's all they were doing in this game. And yet and still, the guy still created, he wreaked havoc, and his impact was felt for 4 quarters. People want to talk about Justin Tucker and the points he left on the board. Let me remind you guys, because you conveniently forget, when we went against the Commanders and we won by 1 score, who left 7 points on the board for the Philadelphia Eagles? None other than Jake Elliott. But what did the Eagles do, and what's the difference? Having a guy like Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, they close out games. I know it's new for Saquon. This is not new for Jalen Hurts. You're talking about a guy, since he's been a starter, has the highest win percentage out of anyone. That's where we at now. People trying to hop on the bus late, and they having to stand up or sit in the back because y'all wasn't here when we was 2-2, when we was 1-1, and people like myself trying to bring everybody down and let them know not only are we hurt, we're not going to make any excuses, but it's very early. We're in a new offense, a new defense. We got to work out the kinks. December is not around the corner. We're in December now. And what are we looking like in the last month of the regular season? The best team in all of football, if not one of the best. And if we're not 1, we're 2, and we're not behind the Lions. I know people want to make excuses for their injuries. I'm sorry. I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't care less. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's injured. But what are you going to do? How are you going to step up? How are your young players going to step up? Not really my concern. I'm just here to tell you that you're looking at the number 2 team in the NFC, the number 1 in the NFC East, and really and truly the best defense of all of football with the best player of all of football in the Philadelphia Eagles. With that being said, this is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your more hostile and humble host, Cassius Cliff. I'll be seeing y'all very soon. Peace.